Good morning and welcome to Boston Has Entered the Chat. It is Wednesday, June 11th, and this is the show where we take what you guys are talking about in your group chats and bring it to y'all on your TV screen. In your ears as well. Listen to the podcast. George Balekji, Travis Thomas. We are live inside the Salem 5 studios here in Watertown. T, how we doing, Mom?
I'm doing great. I was wondering this. Is this show, do you think, are we like a mimosa in the morning, or are we like a Bloody Mary in the morning? Or maybe a shot of whiskey to start the day?
You know what I like? We're dealer's choice. You never know what you're going to get. You have your three options, right? You want to get right back on the horse, you go with that shot of whiskey. I'm a Bloody Mary guy, but sometimes, the events bring out mimosas as well. So.
Yeah. Dealer's choice is always dangerous, so that means we're dangerous.
You defer to the bartender.
I like that.
You hope they don't ring you up too expensive of a drink.
I like that.
Hey, dealer's choice in this one. We'll be getting to what's trending right now. And let's start with Roman Anthony. First MLB hit with his family in attendance. What a night for him.
Yep.
Bounced back going 0 for 4 the night before, having that error in the field. And, tough debut at the major league level, but just 21 years old.
Yeah.
Bounces back, T, gets a hit. First inning, 2 RBI double.
Bro.
Also makes a great play defensively out in right field. Red Sox get the win, 3-1 over the Rays. But you see Roman Anthony, night one, net negative. Night two, instant impact. Positive player right there.
I think it just says a lot about his character. The fact that he could go hitless, he had an error in his debut, and then the very next night, he rectified both. He got the RBI double. He had a nice play in the field. So I love this kid. And we talked about this too when it came to tempering expectations around him, Meyer, Campbell, all these young kids is, you bring a Roman Anthony up. What do you expect here? You think you're going to win the World Series because of one kid? No. But all of these youngsters can spark a turnaround. All of these youngsters can help get this team to where we want them to be. And he's showing that he can do it.
Yeah.
But look at the team win. Fantastic work by him. But look at what the team did. Story is still raking. So it does appear as though maybe there's some consistency here with him now with the bat. Giolito, much better in this outing than we saw the last time, in which he said he would deliver that. So did Buehler. We'll see if he does as well tonight. I suspect he will. So it's a spark, George. Let's call it what it is. Bringing up these young guys, yes, they're getting acclimated to the bigs. Great. But they're also helping turn around your season. It's not put all on them. It's not all on their shoulders. But they're more of a solution than they are adding to the problem.
We also saw Marcelo Meyer make a good defensive play at third base as well. Tough pick, throws it to first. A tough play at third base. So you're seeing Marcelo Meyer show up defensively, Roman Anthony show up defensively. Still need to put out a clean sheet, though. This defense is still not finely tuned.
Yeah.
And it's something they're going to have to resolve on the fly. Once Willie Abreu's back off the IL, we'll see what happens with the lineup. We'll see what happens with the defensive alignments.
Sure.
What happens with Christian Campbell moving forward as well. But they have versatility now with who the personnel is. But to see Roman Anthony bounce back like that, that's important. And also, this was the first game his family was in attendance. Here he is after the win where he had the go-ahead 2 RBI double, talking with the media about his family being in attendance.
That group out there has been with me every step of the way. So just to see them here, I know they had to miss yesterday. Unfortunately, it was kind of quick notice, but to have them here was special for sure.
Father, mother, sister, coaches? Who was it?
Brother, agency, uncle, grandparents, 2 friends. So solid group for sure.
Love that.
It's a solid group for sure.
You see the names of his family?
No.
So Roman Anthony.
Yeah.
His dad, Anthony.
His
Tony.
first name? What?
His brother, Anthony.
Come on.
His grandpa, Anthony. Here's a tweet from Mike Monaco. I remember reading this on his wiki page like a week ago, and I was like, wait. Because I knew his dad was Anthony, Tony Anthony. Whole family, whole tutelage. Shout out to them.
Tony.
Travis.
I didn't like my first name because I don't know. I still don't.
You have a good middle name.
I have a good middle name.
Andre,
which I would rather be my first name.
Andre is a great name. It's also an Armenian name, Lebanese name, too.
Maybe that's why I like it.
But, I mean, hey, man, it fits you. Yeah. You look like a Dre.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, we'll switch it over.
I don't look like a Travis. I'm legally changing my name.
Travis is a good name.
It's done.
I'm not calling you T.
It's done.
You're my guy, T.
Yeah.
All right, let's look ahead to now talking about names.
Yeah.
Guys that shouldn't be named at all. Team USA men's national team for soccer.
Oh, man, they don't deserve it. Why are we talking about them?
4-0.
Look at this.
By the 36th minute in the first half.
What?
4-0 to Switzerland.
Come on.
Look, man, we know the international powerhouses and the countries that are ahead of us.
Yes.
Switzerland ain't one of them.
No.
This was Brazil,
Belgium.
Spain, Portugal, Belgium, Germany,
England.
Netherlands, Poland, England. Exactly. Switzerland. Here's from Stephanie DMV. Hey, DMV in there. DC, Maryland,
Let's
Virginia.
go.
If I bought tickets to this Team USA versus Switzerland match, I would legitimately feel like I got scammed. And I don't blame her.
I don't either.
4-0?
I feel like I got fleeced. All I did was record the game for my damn son who wants to play on this team one day, and I immediately deleted that.
Good.
I woke up this morning, saw the score. I said, oh, hell no. He ain't
You're a
watching
good
this.
dad.
He ain't watching this.
I would do the same thing. I couldn't believe the updates as they were coming in. And the best from the U.S. men's national team Twitter handle is like 1-0. 2-0, 3-0, 4-0, one after the next. Now, this was an international friendly. It wasn't the full-on U.S. men's national team roster. It was a lot of MLS-level players. But I don't care. You're too much of a joke right now. U.S. men's soccer nationally, how they are, to be allowing this outcome to happen. And if you want to grow the sport, build it up, build up the hype.
These are the ones you got to win.
Exactly.
Yeah.
At least be respectable out there.
Yeah, if you lose.
4-0?
Yeah, right. 4-0.
36 minutes in?
Nah, you can't have
Get
that.
out of my face with this.
I told you, too, I know you're not a huge fan of Christian Pulisic, but he is the most talented player that Team USA has to offer across the board. And he is beefing with coaches and everyone else within the organization.
Is he?
Yes. There's issues there. So automatically, I'm like, damn, even our best player who can help us get to respectability and where we want to be isn't happy. So this is across the board right now. Team USA men's soccer is an absolute mess.
Yeah. And this is a Christian Pulisic who didn't want to play for this team, wanted like quote unquote rest.
Yeah.
We see Cristiano Ronaldo playing in international matches. Again, friendly level for Portugal. And the U.S., look, let's completely keep in mind, too, is about to host the World Cup.
That's right.
Men's national team, like, how quick are they going to be out? And this is going to be a team where you're a superstar. And when you're Christian Pulisic, the responsibility that comes with being the face of a country when it comes to a sport.
Yep.
We have seen guys like Yamal with Spain, Ronaldo with Portugal, Messi with Argentina. All these legends embrace, whether they want it or not, whether that's in their personality or not, to be the face for their country when it comes to sport. Pulisic needs to step up and do that. Because if he's not playing, you know, guys of his caliber close to his level are not going to show up either. If the best player's in there, I'm good. I'm going to take the rest too. Let me get ready for 2026. 2026, it's going to last about 20 seconds with how the U.S. men's national team is playing. It's a joke.
Okay, here it is. It's Landon Donovan that took shots. So Portugal beat Spain in penalty kicks. Landon Donovan said, quote, "This is what it means to represent your country. I can't help but to think of some of our guys on vacation right now and not wanting to play in the Gold Cup." So Pulisic was on vacation. That's exactly who he was talking about.
100%.
Christian Pulisic took that personally, like Michael Jordan. I took that personally, and he clapped back at Landon Donovan. So now they're going back and forth. So again, I mean, nothing to see here, just an S show that is a men's U.S. soccer team. Thanks.
That is just, again, showing up for your team, showing up for your country.
Terrible.
That's what it is. So...
yeah, bro.
See
you got to exhale on that.
Talking some NFL now.
All right, good.
Let's hell with this. Shamar Stewart, Cincinnati Bengals 17th overall pick this past draft, continues his holdout, and, man, he is airing it out. Basically asked, hey, what's a holdup? And he's like, look, man, for the Bengals, it's their contract, putting quotes on it. And what he's saying, too, is, you know, they would rather win arguments and get me on the field and put out a winning team. He is going at Bengals ownership, and he is going at the Bengals front office because what this whole dispute is going over, he has not practiced yet for the team. The Bengals are trying to put something into his contract. First time they would do it for a first rounder, they can void a season, and it would void all his remaining guaranteed money in his contract.
Goodness.
So if he gets injured next season, it's rookie contracts, first rounders are fully guaranteed. Will Campbell, $43 million, fully guaranteed. Now, we got a lot as a signing bonus. The rest will come down. What the Bengals are trying to do is make that not fully guaranteed. And again, he plays well this season, gets injured next. They can exercise a clause, would take away all fully guaranteed money. And he's going, look, I know I haven't played it down yet, but I'm not going to be the guinea pig. And what's big for other rookies and just players across the league, this is the precedent. They don't want this to happen because if they do it with him, it'll be the guys that follow.
Yeah, he's absolutely right. And I think, listen, hearing him talk and cook this front office and this ownership group, he sounded pretty poised to me. He didn't even sound like a rookie. He was calm, cool, collected, just spitting facts. But you can look also at the Bengals' history, but even right now with Trey Hendrickson, who is their best defensive player, they don't want to pay him. And they're going to have to trade him because he's like, dude, I'm leaving. Like, you're not going to pay me. I'm the most productive guy you have. This is what happens when you wrap all your money up in Joe Burrow, T. Higgins, and Jamar Chase. Congratulations. You'll score 40 every week. You might even pop a 50 burger on someone. But you will lose 55-52 on a field goal at the end because you can't stop any damn body. You and I could play defense for the Bengals, and that ain't a compliment because neither one of us have no business being out there, but they have no resources. They have no money to have defense. This is why they're trying to fleece this kid. Good for him for standing up for himself.
And also, you go back last offseason where they didn't want to pay Jamar Chase. They kept kicking that can down the road. If they paid him last offseason, they would have dealt with that market and that value.
That's right.
Instead, it's more guaranteed money they had to fork up because guys like C.D. Lamb, Justin Jefferson, Amon-Ra St. Brown, guys like that continued to reset the wide receiver market. Paid them sooner rather than later. That's what smart franchises do, but that's franchises with ownership that don't want to be cheap.
That's right.
The Bengals are cheap.
You could also traded a T. Higgins to a New England Patriots and got anything you wanted. And then the Patriots could have paid T. Higgins, right? And then those draft picks you use to draft some defense that can help you win games, and then you probably wouldn't pay them either. So it's a moot point.
They went Shamar Stewart, 2 off-ball linebackers, 2 interior offensive linemen. It made no sense how they were drafting. We'll take a quick break on Boston has entered the chat, but when we're back, we'll be talking Patriots. And then putting the drama behind them with Stefon Diggs. But hey, make sure to get the latest up-to-date live Boston sports headlines, along with your daily dose of trending sports and social topics every weekday on Boston has entered the chat. Catch us live at 8 a.m. on Nesson, 9 a.m. on Nesson Nation. That's every Monday through Friday on Boston has entered the chat. Welcome back to Boston has entered the chat. George Balekji, Travis Thomas here with you guys in the Salem 5 studio here in Watertown. Trav. So, Love Boat, I think it's behind us.
I love how we just call it the Love Boat.
Hey, man, credit to you. You're the one that coined it that.
Well, the old school Love Boat was the Vikings players that went out. But that's been so long ago. I'm like, I can bring this back. You know, bring it back, the Love Boat. Theirs was way worse.
The Vikings one.
Oh.
Yeah. And credit to them, no cameras.
No cameras.
He said, she said since
That's
then.
a good point, George. Well, it was a different time, but that's a good point.
People
there
had
were
cameras then.
Yeah,
they threw him in the water, if anything.
So true.
So Stefon Diggs did talk with the media finally after the Love Boat situation on Memorial Day weekend. Here's what he had to say when asked about what happened on the boat and asked about, hey, man, what happened with you and Vrabel?
Obviously, I want to be as candid with you guys as possible. I kind of like have a thing where talk about my personal life with people I don't know personally. I'm pretty sure everybody here, men and women, are great people, but they were saying I kind of keep my personal life personal. I had a conversation with Vrabel, obviously. I'm going to echo everything that he said. He told me, you know, hoping everybody making good decisions. He was saying, and I had a conversation with people in the building as well. So
that's Stefon Diggs. I like to keep my personal life with people I know personally.
Cap! It's cap, George. You can't say those words, and then your girlfriend is Cardi B. You can't do it.
You can't
because your actions don't match the words you're telling us.
You can't say those words and allow people. You knew the camera was there.
You talking about Love Boat?
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
You can't say I only share my personal life with people. Because would you say what you do away from work is your personal life?
Okay, but
keep it simple.
But
if you're walking your dog or you're partying Memorial Day weekend.
Sure. But all right, let's go back for a second to Love Boat. You're right. But let's say it was a mistake. It was a lapse in judgment. Usually I keep my personal life personal. It just so happened you caught me on a boat with some twerkers and some Tusi.
Yeah.
And someone had a camera. It was a mistake. Okay, let's give him that one. Let's give him a mulligan there. Your girlfriend is Cardi B, bruh. There's nothing personal about your personal life when your girlfriend is a rapper whose whole brand, she lives her life out loud. You don't believe me? Go do your research on all her social media posts and lives and tweets and all that nonsense when she was with Offset. Like any little spat they got in, she went straight to live and aired him and everybody else out.
Yeah.
Okay? There's no such thing as a personal life if that's your girlfriend. I'm not saying to break up or you shouldn't be with her. You love who you love. And I love love. I'm a lover, not a fighter. I'll fight you though. But I'm saying you can't then say, my personal life's my personal life. BS. How? We see everything you do. And if not, she's going to tell us. So I just think this is one of those situations where he's not upset that he got caught. He's not upset at what happened. He's upset that he got caught at.
100%.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like he has to say these things. It's all BS.
Here is Stefon Diggs when he was asked some follow-up questions from the Patriots media.
Who's in the bag? Obviously, it's a conversation, you know, that's happening internal. You know what I'm saying? I can't have too much of a conversation about it. But I've been in this league 10 years. You can format the question many different ways. You know, I'm obviously answer it the same way. So.
First up, I just have one. Yeah. Did you know it was being recorded?
Once again, you can format the question many different ways. You know what I'm saying? I've been doing this for 10 years. The conversation that I had with Braves and the people in the building, obviously, is going to be handled internal. You know what I'm saying? In-house thing. So.
Do you regret it happened?
So you asked me? Yeah. I would hate to repeat myself again.
Did you know it was in the bag?
Please.
Did you know it was being recorded? Did you regret what happened? None of those are the same question of what was the conversation between you and Mike Vrabel, and none of those are what did Mike Vrabel say about it being recorded? What advice did he give to you? That is what was in the bag, I'm moving past it. That's fine. I don't expect him to admit what was in the bag. Credit to him not even lying, though. Did you know it was being recorded? I did, and you know what? I'm sorry I put the franchise in that way.
Never happen again.
Do you regret what happened? I 100% do.
Yes.
Instead, you could word it different ways. Those were 3 different questions.
Yes.
4 different questions from what we heard him be asked. All of those were different questions. He did the smart thing, say something without saying anything, get out of it, move past it. And I expect the Patriots to do that. But, again, it goes back to, man, you want to keep your personal life personal? Don't allow cameras to be filming you doing that. Grab that camera. If it makes it onto the boat, throw it in the water, and that's it.
That's what we're saying here is he's upset he got caught.
Yes.
It's not so much what he's doing, and it's not, I want to keep my personal life personal. That's all BS. There's no part of any, even those questions that you brought up where he's like, I'm not talking about it. That doesn't speak to being contrite. That doesn't speak to being sincere, of ownership, of, hey, never happen again, we're moving on. We would accept that.
Yeah.
But when you kind of dance around this and you're just like, we're moving on, I can't talk about this, come on, bro. Like, we know what it is. Here's the thing now that I'm wondering, sitting back from where we're sitting, watching all this play out. If there is even a minor infraction now, I think the Patriots are in a tight spot where they have to do something. Because ultimately, George, no laws were broken on this love boat. There were no charges pressed. There was so you can't really, punish him, right? I'm sure he got cussed out. We know that. Vrabel lit him up, I'm sure. But there's nothing really the team or the league can do. So you're really, if you're the Patriots, you're just kind of embarrassed by this and you want it to go away, which we're seeing happening in real time.
Yeah.
But I think now there's another minor infraction. I'm not even talking love boat status, bro. I'm saying something happens, right? Any drama at all where the team can deem, we can't deal with this. They have to now come down with an iron fist. I think he's put him in that position. Almost like you burned your get out of jail free card.
Yeah, you had a mulligan and you lost it.
And now it's gone. Yeah. So now you have to maybe even overreact if he does something.
Yeah. We'll see. I think it all depends on what the level is of what that next strike can be. This is something that he messed up off the field. If he's locked in from this point forward, it was mandatory minicamp. Now the team's done. Yeah.
It'll go away.
They have meetings on Wednesday. That's it. No practice.
Yes.
And then it's the true off season before they report back for training camp in 5-6 weeks.
Right.
It'll all go away. This flips the page and puts it behind him.
Yes.
Now, this is Stefon Diggs, wide receiver 1 for the Patriots. The one guy that's been also stealing headlines in camp, that's been Stefon Chisholm.
Oh, God.
Undrafted free agent. He finally spoke to the media. Exciting to hear from the undrafted free agent out of Washington State. Here's Chisholm talking with the media yesterday.
I just think coming with the mindset of nothing's guaranteed. Nobody owes me anything, trying to take advantage of every opportunity I get. If that's a scout team rep or if that's a special teams rep with whatever it is, and then building the QB's trust to where they want to throw me the ball.
What?
I've had an epiphany. I'm cool. I've been hating on Efton Chisholm.
His route running is good.
I get it.
He gets separation at the top of his route. He has good hands.
When this first started, all this hype train, choo-choo, I didn't get aboard because I said, can you just make the team before everyone tells me how great you are? But you know what, man? I'm off that now because I can't sit up here and be a hypocrite. I can't sit up here every morning and talk the trash that I talk and the smack that I talk about the New England Patriots wide receiver room and then hate on this young man.
Yeah.
You know what?
Look at you.
Yeah, growth. What do you always say? Hashtag growth. You know what, Efton Chisholm? I'm rooting for you, bro. Come on, man. I'm on the hype train now. I'm on it. I might be in the back, but I'm on it.
He's a guy that basically is leading the Patriots in receptions through what we've seen of OTAs so far. And he's like, man, if they need me to play special teams, I'll play special teams. And also you see him running routes, the drills he's doing. This guy looks like he's smaller, but the next coming of a Danny Amendola. Not the fastest, not the most athletic, refined, good route runner. And again, with being a wide receiver, it's not about being the fastest guy. It's not about jumping the highest. It's knowing how to get open and knowing how to get separation. If you are lock and step and on the same mental page as your quarterback,
sure,
you know what the route is. Because a slant for Drake May would be different for a slant from Josh Dobbs, just looking at this quarterback room alone. But if you know exactly where they want you to be, when you're third step, 4 steps into your route, and when the ball is going to be and where, and you know how to get open, quarterbacks will love you forever. It took Julian Edelman 4 years to break out, to go beyond a punt return.
Yeah, true.
It took Danny Amendola a few seasons to go from being a practice squad guy to an NFL receiver. It took multiple receivers a season or two to then break out and be their own dude.
How about Hogan? He was a lacrosse player, remember?
Exactly. I mean, even look at Calvin Johnson. The most dominant receiver I've ever seen play football. Was a nobody his rookie season, coming out of a triple option offense in Georgia Tech. And then again, he is the most dominant offensive player I've ever seen play football in my lifetime. Me, in his prime. The same thing with the Chisholm. If this is a guy that consistently can get open, be reliable, be a chain mover, and a man beater, what the Patriots need, they need guys that can get open.
Yeah.
Because when defenses are bracketing Hunter Henry, and when they are locking down Stefon Diggs and taking him out even in his own defense, who else can get separation? And Kyle Williams picking it up as a rookie, and Chisholm is a rookie too. Who else can get open and be that consistent guy for Drake May? That's what gets you on his 53-man roster. And it doesn't matter when you were drafted, how much you're getting paid, what school you went to. All that matters is you're catching passes from a top 5 QB.
You want to know part of my growth is holding back the hater in me that says, well, George, they're not even in pad yet. I mean, what are we?
They're not.
This is the underwear Olympics. Like, what are we talking about? But again, new me, epiphany me says, if you can help this team, I hope, Efton, you have the same energy and the same production and the same hype when the pads come on and somebody putting them hammers on you across the middle. I need to see all of this that we're doing here right now when that happens. But I'm a new man, George. I believe we will see it.
It's once the pads come on and a guy like a Christian Gonzalez can put his hands on him. Carlton Davis. Craig Woodson, if he's lining up in the slot,
gets a little tougher, George, is all I'm saying.
100%.
Gets a little tougher.
When you put pads on, even Mike Vrabel knows it all the time. He's like, this is passing camp. You can't talk about the offensive line if they don't have pads on. Then you don't really know how good some of these guys are.
That's right.
Then you don't really know the impact they could have. Same for every position. It is football. If this was flag football, he'd be the starting receiver on the Olympic team.
That's right.
Right? But once the pads come on, then we'll know. But the guy's making strides right now. And hey, make a name for yourself in OTAs.
Yeah.
You get past the first round of cuts. Once you get into training camp, the coaching staff, they'll put more on your plate. And how do you operate with the 1s and 2s? That's what matters for Efton Chisholm, with pads on, to your point.
It does. And also, I'll go beyond that because we're talking camps. He could start in training camp. And all this hype could pay off. Where we see him at camp, and he is the story. Like, this guy, he's a belle of the ball. And then you get to the games. How many times we both played sports? Hell, I'm one of them, so I know what I'm talking about. Where you could be a star in practice, and then you get to the game, and the lights come on, that pressure gets there, the crowd's there. You're not the same dude. So I just, again, I am on the hype train. I'm just in the back. I'm in the back chilling. I just got my first drink, and I'm watching it play out. Because I can't be in the front of this train. It's been going all through these damn mini camps and OTAs and all this stuff. Okay, Because you and I have covered the NFL for a long time. We've seen players who ball out in training camp, who ball out in these mini camps, and then you get to even the preseason and they don't do anything.
Yeah.
So I'm on the train, but I'm chilling. I ain't partying yet. I'm in the back. A couple people recognize, yo, Trav, you partying?
Not yet.
Not yet.
I'm waiting to get closer to the destination.
Just got here, bro.
Which I understand and all that, especially a team that hasn't had a good wide receiver room in a long time.
Talk about it.
And especially a team that hasn't been able to draft receivers in a very long time. But if this guy can just be anything, again, he's an undrafted free agent. And this is something, too, with Efton Chisholm. If he falls off when it goes into this season and he's only a practice squad guy, doesn't mean he's a bust, doesn't mean he's a failure. He's an undrafted free agent. All 32 teams in the NFL passed on him all 7 rounds throughout the NFL draft.
Facts.
But year 2 or 3, when he becomes something, then you're winning with that
Facts.
draft pick.
Yeah.
Then he's an absolute hit. We'll take another break here on Boston Is Enter the Chat. When we're back, here from Bruins new head coach Marco Sturm as he caught up with Sophia Jurkovic, Judd Surratt, Andy Brickley, our crew from the Hockey Hub. And make sure every Monday through Friday, you can catch the latest in Boston sports headlines and trending sports, 8 to 9 a.m. on NESN, 9 to 10 a.m. on NESN Nation, on Boston Has Entered the Chat, and all episodes going up on YouTube as well. You could also leave a voicemail, 617-790-0928. That's Boston Has Entered the Chat, every Monday through Friday. Welcome back to Boston Has Entered the Chat. Hey, Marco Sturm introduced as the 30th head coach in Boston Bruins franchise history. Exciting era to begin in Boston now. Here he is catching up with our crew from Hockey Hub right here.
You know how important the culture is, and you spoke about that at length in your press conference earlier today that we were able to carry and listen in. And I'm just trying to get a visual of what that locker room can look like because it needs to be reestablished. It was the envy of the league for about 20 years. Yeah. It took a hit last year. Yeah. How do you go about restructuring that?
Yeah, no, and the good thing is I'm not by myself, and I mentioned it too. I still believe we have a really good core of players, and I talked to all of them. All right, I talked to all of them, but right away I can tell they have the Bruins DNA. So it's not like I'm going to start from scratch. No, I think that leadership group. I think that I'm going to work closely together. Right, those guys have to drive that bus, and I need them, and we need them, and starts with preparation, starts with even practice. Right, it starts training camp. Those are the things. I'm going to be the front runner, but I also need those guys. And when they do that, you know what? It's going to trickle because it's the young guys will follow. All right, and that's how I learned here as a young guy. That's how I learned from older guys. That's probably you learn from.
That's right.
Some from different guys too. That's just the way it is. But somebody has to do it. And I felt like yes, there was a lot of injuries last year, but it kind of, got forgotten a little bit. The pride, the energy, what you have to bring in every day for the Bruins.
So one of the things that Brick talked about, just how much the culture was the envy here in Boston around the National Hockey League, and you were part of that almost from the get-go when Patrice Bergeron was first coming into the organization. Zdeno Chara was signed as a free agent. You were already here at that point. But one of the things that, whether it was Claude Julien or subsequent coaches, they never felt like that they had to exert themselves, that they felt like the room ran itself. I guess now, in the position that the Bruins are in, do you feel like you have to have a little bit more influence in the room with some of the changes that have taken place?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm a new guy, and I have different thoughts and different ideas how I want to approach things, and these guys are so used to from I'm not saying the same. They have 4 different coaches. I know it's different, but on the other side, it was kind of like the same. Like the way they played. So it's going to be just a refreshing a little bit. It's going to be a little different, but at the end of the day, I definitely, I have to put my foot down here right away from the start because I don't want any gray area in my game. You can't think about that, right? So it's going to be, with me, it's going to be very clear the way I wanted to play, the way I want to, see us going moving forward. I think the one thing I learned, I stick with the process. There will be some up and downs, but you got to stick with it, though. And that's going to be, I think, will be the challenging thing too. Especially with media and everything like that. So it's going to be different, but you got to stick with it, and that's why, as I mentioned it today, it's not just me. I need more than that. I need my staff. I need my players. Because we all have to chip in.
One of the other topics I think that was pretty prominent in today's media session was offense and evolving the offense. And without getting into X's and O's on how you do it, and I know you talked about, it starts in your own zone. I mean, that's how you get a better offense. It's how you get out of your own end. I understand all that. But how difficult as a head coach in the NHL is it to teach offense?
Yeah, no, it's the funny part is, and I saw it with my kids. I'm telling it was my kids, like my Ontario Reign kids. I call the kids. I saw them with them like, okay, do you actually want to score? That was one of the questions I always had with them because you got to show me, all right? When you're in the offensive zone, you can have the best structure you want, all right? But show me. Show me that you want to score. Show me that you want that puck. You got to show me that you want to be front of the net and work for it. All right, I think that alone, that mentality, you got to have. And if you look at perfect example yesterday again, or even the finals, if you look at the Florida Panthers right now, right, they go to the net, right, and not just one guy, they got everyone, and they go to the net, they throw pucks to the net, different ways to do it, but they're hungry, and that just alone, I think that's something. I noticed from the younger generation, I think from the last 3 years, and that's something I'm gonna have a different mindset. I'm gonna try to teach it. I'm gonna show it, and I gotta pretty much tell them every day too. It's just part of the job.
Part of this summer obviously has to be, and you mentioned it, that you've already had some conversations with a lot of veteran guys, but how important will be for you to make those connections between now and the start of training camp so they're able to execute the things that you want?
No, communication for me, it's always a big thing, and you got to have a good relationship, and it starts right now, right? And that's why I was calling a lot of guys, and even a lot of guys actually reached out too. So it was a little bit of combo, so it was nice to see. Guys are really excited. I think everyone is ready for a little bit of change, and but again, it is important because end of the day, I want the best out of my players, and I think when you have an open relationship and be fair, but also honest, I think you will get that, and again, it goes back to that leadership group because those are the guys, and it starts with them.
One of the aspects of a team that's in a rebuild or a retool to get back to being a competitive playoff team and a team that's going to challenge for the Cup, you have to have young guys mature, develop, and become key players in your lineup on a regular basis each night and help you win a lot of hockey games.
Yeah.
That is going to be one of the challenges that you face with some of the young players that the Bruins have on the roster right now. How do you go about getting the most out of those guys? Because you are coming from a player development side. Yeah,
and again, you have to pick them up right away, I think, those guys. You got to build that relationship right away with them. And again, those... unfortunately, we don't have too many, right? I think Don Sweeney's working on it right now. I think it's really exciting, actually, to have lots of picks coming up the next 3 years, but it's going to take time. So for me, I don't have that time, but I also, I'm going to focus on the guys we have in our recurring lineup. And again, those guys, they got to earn it too, first of all. But on the other side, we got to help them. I got to help them to get to the next level. And I think in the past, I've proven this is one of the things I like to do, I enjoy to do, working with those young kids.
Patrice Bergeron talked about how helpful you were to him when his NHL career was still in its infancy, and I'm curious what your message was to Bergie then, and will it mirror some of the message that you're going to convey to some of these young players now? Yeah,
I mean, and believe it or not, I was actually a quiet guy, in the locker room. Even when I played, I was very quiet. I think coaching changed me a little bit. Now I gotta talk and talk and talk. But what I did, I think most importantly, I was I lead with example, right? And I again, he was sitting right beside me the 5-6 years I was here. I think he saw me preparing every day, take care of my body, how I treat every practice like a game, with lots of energy, lots of pride, lots of emotions, and I think we just feed off each other. And I think he just by doing that, just by watching me, I think he would hopefully agree. He would see that.
One of the words that Don Sweeney used a couple times when people asked him what was important to him in finding a coach, and also how you stood out of 14 candidates. That's a lot of candidates to be interviewing.
Yeah.
He used the word the path. The path that he took was very important to me. Anyone could look up your resume. We know it. A very fantastic resume, starting with Team Germany, like you said, when you really fell in love with coaching. But I'm just curious, not from a technical standpoint what your resume looks like, but more emotional and mental, what that learning curve, what that path was that Don saw that you are ready for this job right now.
Yeah, no, I took a little bit a different route, right? I took it a little bit the harder way, but again, I had to know too where I'm at as a coach. What do I, what are my goals? And I think, yes, with the German national team, I came over, but even in LA as assistant coach, I think it took me a year or two. Okay, what exactly what I want to do, right? Do I want to be a head coach or more like assistant for 20 more years? But soon, really soon, I thought, okay, no, I head coach, that's me. I'm a way better head coach than assistant. I'm not going to lie, but this is me, and that's why. And then the job came up in Ontario, and that's why there was no question. I said, I'm gonna chase my goal. To be a head coach here in the national hockey team, and I'm talking to a few people, only a few, and they advised me that's the way you have to go. And for me, it was a no-brainer, and I didn't care if I have to drive the bus for 20 hours. I didn't really care. And again, I wanted to do that. I even left my family at home, so that even alone I think shows a lot that I had something in mind I wanted to chase, and it's nice to get rewarded.
I think we have a pretty good handle on Marco Sturm, the man.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to get to the essence of your coaching philosophy, if I can. I don't know if you can express it in a short amount of time, but people would say, well, goaltending, team defense, strength down the middle. Do you still believe in those three pillars, or has the game changed? The essence of your coaching philosophy is different.
Yeah, no, I mean a lot the same, but a lot different, or new, or whatever you want to call it. But I think the defensive part of the game, I think that it's really strong in me. I think that's something we built here, and they still have it, and that's something I don't want to lose. I believe in playing good defense that creates lots of offense as well, right? Do we want to spend too much time in our own zone? No, we don't. But I think that's the part now where I jump in now, or this new generation of coaches, when you get the puck, all right, what are you going to do about it? Are you just gonna play slow, or are you gonna play with pace and having that mindset right away to be ahead of some other teams? All right, I think that's something I'm big on. Transition game, I would say, and then to work towards entries in ozone. All right, and again, ozone, we touched on it a little bit, being more hungry around the net and finding ways to score. But I think overall, if you look at the games right now, in today's game, it's I call it the long game, right? It's a transition game, it's a neutral zone game a little bit, and again, I think that's something we can definitely improve.
Marco, one of the things that you talked about was Daryl Sutter, Claude Julien, the impression that they made on you. But if I look across your 900-plus game NHL career, you played for some strong personalities, whether it was Daryl or Ron Wilson, Mike Sullivan, Alain Vigneault, Claude Julien, we mentioned in there as well. But what do you find yourself taking from those guys specifically, where you're like, wow, I'm going to employ this. Maybe you employed it as an assistant coach with the Kings, or in the American Hockey League as a head coach with the Reign?
Yeah, you always want to get the the good things out of those coaches you think who are the best. And for me, Claude and I mentioned it before, Daryl Sutter were the best. So that's the old school mentality, being very honest, but also hard and fair. I think that's something definitely in me. And the other part, I've seen it with some different coaches too, but I think the other part is it's me. That's who I am. I think that makes me maybe not unique, but that makes me, I think, a good coach, right? And I had Nate Thompson. Remember him?
Mm-hmm.
Nate Thompson. He was one of my assistant coaches last year, and in Ontario. And he came in one day, and I have to share that story. He came in one day, and it's like, because we played the same system as the Kings, right? Or we tried to. Let's put it that way. But he knows, because sitting beside me every day in the coach's room, he knew my thoughts, right? How I want to play. And he came in, he's like, just be you, right? Just be you, because you're better than anyone else. And that's exactly what I did. And just off that moment, I think I really realized that I'm actually really good too. So I have my own thoughts, my own ideas. Yes, I learned a lot from other coaches, but that alone, that conversation with Nate Thompson came a long way.
You've had some already very clippable and quotable moments saying just be you and this is me. And one of them we wanted to focus on is when you said this means more, referring into your position with the Boston Bruins. You said, you had your experience with the San Jose Sharks and that the timing is everything. Can you expand on that this means more outside of what it means to your family, what it means because this is a city that you obviously embraced you and that you spent time with, but that this means more? Is it just where you are in your life right now as well?
How much time do we have?
I think like 2 minutes.
Okay.
But it's longer. It's longer.
To keep it short, it's a combination of everything. I'm a big family guy. It's about my family. They absolutely love this city. They grew up here. They had good memories. Now we all meet again here because my kids are in colleges around here. So you can't write a better script, right? The other part is just the memories I had when I played here, the success we had, building something, even with the fans in the back, like it was just incredible, right? And now even here, me as a coach. So, I talked about the timing, where we at as a team right now. And also the age, I'm 46 years old, but the path I went, the last 7 years, really took my time to really, get the job at the right time. It just, I don't know, it doesn't feel real yet, but I feel like it all came together at the right time, at the right spot. Mm-hmm. And that's why, as soon as I saw Don Sweeney, I was like, oh my God, this is exciting. And that's why I was really hard on it. I pushed it probably through my presentations. I had the interviews a little bit harder because of it,
Yeah, it sounds like what I love, and I love it. There's so much intentionality behind your path and your journey. You didn't follow into it. Like you said, there's some sacrifices leaving your family. Very intentional. We have about a minute left, and so not a lot to give an answer. If you don't mind me just throwing in, you mentioned this leadership group and this core, Marco, but no named captain for now. Is that going to affect things for you with how more vocal you are in the room? Yeah, no, I mean,
end of the day, I even told Don that, end of the day, I do want a captain. It doesn't have to be right now, but I think we touched on it a little bit, not too much. I think moving forward, we're going to have more conversation about it. But the other thing you got to know is I don't actually, I seen the Pasternak and the McAvoy and Lindholm. I seen him play, but I don't really know him as a person. So I think having that chance just to meet him and be around him, and I think that then I can actually tell management what I think. But as of right now, I think it's a little bit too early. I don't know yet what they think, but those conversation definitely will come up this summer.
Awesome interview.
It was great.
For Marco
He's
Sturm.
great with the media.
Great job by our crew there. Great stuff from them. We'll take another quick break here on Boston Has Entered the Chat. When we're back, hear from Roman Anthony more in depth after his first Major League hit, and we'll recap some Sox with a big win over the Rays. Welcome back to Boston Has Entered the Chat. All right, Trav, let's get into it. Red Sox, big win over the Rays last night, 3-1. And we saw the start of the first inning.
Yes.
How did they get the runs scored to start it off? Roman Anthony.
Roman
Two
Empire.
RBI double down the left field line. Big to see him get his first Major League hit and have an impact on the game. And as you talked about earlier on in the show, in right field, we saw the clips of him getting coached up before the game. They're going out and making a gem of a play, snagging a ball, saving extra bases, not just an out, but making a good athletic play in right field.
Well, to me, it's more, yes, he made a great play. But we know he's a tremendous athlete, and we know eventually he's going to hit a baseball over those mountains, where that's coming too. But it was more about what had just happened the night before that was impressive to me. You go hitless, you make an error out in the field, and then the very next night, you get an RBI double and you get a great catch out in the field. That's character stuff. I'm getting coached up. I am improving, but I'm implementing this stuff. My confidence didn't go anywhere. I owe it to the team. A lot of competitiveness is, all right, I messed up the night before. I got y'all tonight. You can't coach that. That's not quantifiable. You have that in you or you don't. I like to call it that dog. He got that dog. So I love this kid. I love all these kids. I always talk about them in threes. Him, Meyer, Campbell. I like all of them. And I think they're all going to work out eventually. But from what I've seen so far, with thine eyes early with Roman Anthony, he's the one. He got the dog.
Is what we were talking about. It's baptism by the fire.
Yes.
Right? And for him to go out, mess up, fail, what are the successes going to be the following night? And again, okay, you have that success in game 2. What's game 3 of your career?
That's
and
right.
then he'll get to the point where it takes care of itself and you trust him. If he's having a slump, if he's having a hot streak, where he finds his level. I mean, that's how every player, every athlete, any sport is judged on.
Sure.
It's what's their average, basically. I mean, it's literally in baseball in a batting average sense. But for him to bounce back, go back, again, tough elements, playing out right field, not getting switched out of right too, because that was part of the spotlight. Okay, what do they do? Do they move him over to left, shift the outfield a little bit? Because he played more left in the minors.
Sure.
Keep him out in right, let him figure it out. And he has that great hit going opposite field to start the game, moving well on the base path as well. What has this Red Sox team struggled with? Runners in scoring position, striking out a ton. Gets on base, scores the 2 guys, good hit in Fenway. Great start for him.
By the way, I'm looking at my notes here. He made history. Anthony passes Jim Rice for the youngest in franchise history to record 3 or more RBI in his first 2 games. So the guy immediately...
Jim Rice.
Jim Rice.
Yes.
Our friend, Jim Rice. He passes him. So, I mean, listen, Jim Rice was also 21 at the time, but Anthony just a little bit younger. So immediately, he's here for 5 minutes. He's already making history. I think that is the shape of things to come. That's foreshadowing. But as far as the team goes, you and I talked about this sort of tempering expectations around Roman Anthony and Marcelo Meyer. But look, if these 3, and I'm including all of them, Meyer and Campbell, if they can sort of be the catalyst or spark to turn the season around, great. Because all of a sudden, I mean, Story's raking. How about Giolito pitching well last night?
And a gem.
That's what I'm saying. Bueller's next tonight. I think Bueller's going to do great tonight, too. This team is starting, I keep saying it, and then they lose a couple games.
Exactly.
I'm still trying to catch lightning in a bottle with the Red Sox, but we are seeing signs that it could indeed happen.
Yeah.
It could.
This is, again, let me see them do it consistently.
Yes.
Look at this Red Sox team since March 12. 5th in RBI in the majors, 8th in batting average, 9th in slugging. So they have a top 10 lineup since May 12th. They've gone 11-15 over that stretch. That's where they lose me.
That's right.
But it's Roman Anthony making a play in right. Marcelo Meyer making a tough pick play and to throw to first early in the game as well.
Yeah.
A tough play at third base.
Sure.
Can this team stay clean defensively? That's it. All we literally want is a clean sheet. We don't want a +2 outs above average. We want zeros instead of being a net negative defensively as a team. Giolito pitched great. Again, trying to pick off a runner, made an issue. Like, just stop trying to get too fancy and keep it simple. But what they're doing there, where the lineup has been great, You need the defense to show up. And let's go with the starting pitching. After we saw them absolutely just blow up before heading into the series, Crochet, 6-inning pitch, 9 Ks. Hunter Dobbins, 5 innings pitch, just 3 earned runs.
Sure.
And really just let up 2 big swings to the Yankees.
Yeah.
Brian Bayo, 6 1/3, 3 earned runs.
Right.
Giolito last night, 6 innings pitched, 3 hits, 0 earned runs.
Yeah.
Okay, now the starting pitching is coming around.
That's right.
And now they're starting to help out the bullpen. And we're
Yeah.
seeing the wins follow or the success of this team being in it. The bats are there. Let's see if the starting pitching can stay consistent. Quality starts.
Yes.
Not asking for Cy Young candidates
That's right.
outside of Garrett Crochet. Quality starts. Can the defense be serviceable?
I think Buehler pitches well tonight. Series win loading. And then here come the Yankees. And here we go again. I mean, we were just here last weekend, and the Sox, thank God, showed up and showed out. I want to give you this. Fox Sports tweeted this out. 3+ million people, George, tuned in for Sox-Yankees over the weekend, making it the most watched MLB regular season game on any network since 2022. Yankees and Sox is back because the damn Sox have showed up. The Sox have entered the chat.
Yeah.
So here's how this is going to go. Buehler pitches well tonight. See you, Rays. You're boring anyways. Bring on the Yanks. They're going to win that series too. Don't let the Sox get hot. Don't mess around and let the Sox get hot, George. I'm telling you right now. I know we're talking about consistency, and they need it, but it's coming.
I have the key to we're back in my mind.
Okay.
I'm not unlocking that yet.
If they win the Yankees series, they win this
No.
Rays series and they win the Yankees series, take 2 out of 3
They're not
again.
back.
They're still not back.
It has to be consistent.
All right.
I just read everything.
All right.
They're 11-15 since May 12th.
I know.
With as good as that
I
hitting
heard your
is.
numbers.
Hey, Trevor Story too, though. 13 RBI, 13 hits his last 11 games. He had that 5 RBI night the other night. But if this is a guy just, again, serviceable.
Yes.
And if his bat's starting to wake up, and that goes back to the end of May. It's not just flipping the calendar to June.
Yeah.
But if he can be consistent again.
Hold up. You're
batting
not
310.
You're not sliding out of here. If they're at 500 by All-Star break, are they back?
I got to see the product on the field.
Okay.
Because, again, we see how good the bats are, but they keep literally throwing away games in the field.
I'm going to stay on.
Literally.
I'm going to wait for that moment when
It's more than records. It's
right.
how are you performing on the field.
Okay.
Because you could be a 500 team, but if you're dog, then it doesn't matter.
All right.
Bad type of dog.
All right.
Hey, we'll take another break here on Boston Has Entered the Chat. But make sure to catch, as always, on
Yes.
NESN Nation. Boston Has Entered the Chat as well. Every Monday through Friday from 9 to 10 a.m., 8 to 9 a.m. on NESN, 9 to 10 a.m. on NESN Nation. And make sure to get the latest up-to-date live Boston sports headlines, along with the daily dose of trending sports and social topics every weekday on Boston Has Entered the Chat. Catch us live at 8 a.m. on NESN, 9 a.m. on NESN Nation. It's every Monday through Friday right here. Boston Has Entered the Chat.